And so far, like, dude, that's why it's been so hard for me to keep up with other shows because I've just been binging on Hunter x Hunter the whole time. I'm like, God.
I know. There's all this stuff I want to watch, and it's just like, yeah, well, I can watch this, or I can watch Hunter x Hunter.
I know, man, dude. Especially right now, since like I forgot how much of a troll Bisky was.
Oh, dude, I love Bisky.
I know, when they finally reintroduced her and everything, I'm like, oh, I forgot you were just like this.
Yeah.
Like, Bisky's like the epitome of a JoJo character.
Dude, she totally is. Even though, like, JoJo doesn't really have, like, lollies. The closest they have is...
No, I'm talking about her transformation.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's what I was going for, too. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, like that's the thing that's funny about her. Is, like, she starts off as a lolly... But then they have to remind you that she's 57 years old and she's like but she's basically like a butch. Like she's super butch.
I know, man. Dude, that was the funniest fight though when she was fighting that one guy with the scissors who can like tell people tell people's abilities just by eating their hair.
Yeah.
That's weird. That was the weirdest abilities I saw.
Dude, it's funny because like, you know that show I've been talking about, Doom Patrol?
Yeah.
So there's a character in the comic books. I don't know if he does this in the comic, but he like... This is how they did him in the show. But that's the guy who does that too, where he eats the hair off someone's beard, and the whole thing is like, well, your hair's connected to your brainstem, so when I eat your hair, I know like everything about you. But so like, he ends up eating like a bunch of hair, somewhat like a main character. He ends up eating like their beard shavings from a drain.
Oh God.
And like knows everything about the people in the house that he works with. And I'm just like,
that's disgusting.
Oh, they show it too. Like that show, despite the fact it might be one of the greatest superhero shows ever made, it's super fucking childish.
Damn.
Like all the jokes are very lowbrow humor. Some of it's really clever, but the rest of it's just like oh fuck you, or like I'm gonna make a dick sucking joke or something like really dumb like that.
Damn.
And that time when I was telling my friend about like another superhero show and how I think Doom Patrol is better than that, she's like, they're for a different audience. I'm like, have you seen Doom Patrol? You're watching the show right now. Do you really think Doom Patrol's trying to go for a mature audience with the jokes? They're going for the stupid teens as well. But yeah, like, yeah, that was the weird thing with freaking with Hunter x Hunter. So when I saw that, I'm like, Jesus Christ! I just saw this in Doom Patrol. Freaking, I'm guessing the creator of Hunter x Hunter was a fan of this comic from the fucking 60s.
Dude, and I love that scene so much because like when he's just like, wait, she's 52. And like, wait, but there's something more. What? She's got the nen of a master.
Yeah.
And like he just seemed like just get humble and it's like, if you don't mind me asking, but I would like a fair one-on-one duel with you.
Yeah, he wanted to spar with her and he just gets like knocked into the ring with her and Gon. With Gon and Killua.
Yep.
Yeah, one of my main issues with the dub right now, but I know that's a thing in the Japanese one too, is I really am getting kind of weirded out by the fact that you have like grown women playing like little boys.
Yeah.
Like, I think Gon is fine, the girl doing his dub is fine, but like the girl doing the dub in for Killua is also the person, her name is Christina V, I've talked about it a few times.
Yeah.
And she just sounds like a little girl. Like it sucks because like Killua is supposed to be like the more tomboyish. And it's just like you make him sound too much like a little girl.
Dude, for me, I'm just trying. Because I'm watching a dubbed. I'm subbed.
Yeah.
I'm watching a sub right now, and like right now, like the only thing I just can't wait right now is like when he gets his Godspeed, his lightning Godspeed.
Which one?
Killua.
Oh, when they start when they start enhancing their powers?
Yeah, because like right now in the Greed Island arc is when they just started developing it, so like he can control electricity.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be able to use that electricity to get his Godspeed, and I was like, I can't wait for that.
Ooh, I haven't gotten to that part yet. I just got to in relation to that, I barely got to the part where they named Gon's attack.
Oh, his rock, paper, scissors?
Yeah, and his whole, and like the whole name. It doesn't help. It really helps that the person playing Knuckle Dub is Ben Diskin. So there's a part where it's like, "What's your name?" It's like Ja. It's like Ja. Junkin. Ah, so Junkin. I see. I see you add the extra J as like a ta-da effect, and it's like, actually, that was just a stumble. And it's like, no, that's a clever name. I'm like, okay. So it's called
Junkin.
Yeah. The name was supposed to be Junkin, but it's just like Junkin. So now they keep saying that, and I laugh. I'm like, it's so silly. But yeah, dude, this show is really fucking good.
I know.
So it's only a matter of time, people. A matter of time. Even though that will probably be forever because you're in the 70s, I'm in the 90s. After this episode, after we're done recording, I have to start watching the second part of Durarara.
Yep. Which, holy Christ, man, this first part I forgot how heavily involved like the mafias get in this one.
Me too, yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like in the second one, but then when I saw the first one, I was like, holy shit, you got not only the Yakuza but the Russian mafia?
Yeah.
Remember?
I forget. Okay, so I remember. I forget what her real name. Oh, Verona.
Verona.
I remember Verona for like obvious reasons, but like I don't remember Sloane. So it was making me laugh how like the first when they step in, it is flat out like a weird comedy duo.
Yeah.
But one is like overly curious, and Verona just has like a bunch of useless information.
Yep. Dude, I remember when I first saw her and everything, I was like, oh, I love this woman already. I can tell she's gonna be pretty good in this season.
Yeah, and then hearing her in dubbed is just like,
I know.
the chill.
I know, man. Dude, I'm telling you, when I watched her sub, I was like, oh man, I feel like I can get more out of this character dubbed now because I'm so used to Durarara, hearing their voices in English.
Yeah.
And then when I heard the dub, was not disappointed.
Well, that was like the greatest thing about that. That's one of the good things about dubs is where dubs obviously have a slight disadvantage because they have to do lip matching and like they have to figure out how to develop the character without stepping on the toes of like the voice actor. So when, for example, something like Helsing where all of the characters are like English to Scottish with I think one American person, I don't remember.
Well, Father Anderson was Scottish, that's true.
Yeah, that's what I said, right? English to Scottish?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you hear them, they're very, like, Japanese, with maybe a slight accent, but, like, just Japanese with, like, the typical way of speaking. And then in the dub, you have, like, British, Veronica, I forget, what's the lady who runs Helsing?
Oh, it's, Integra.
Integra, yeah, you
Helsing.
have, like, a flat-out British Integra. You have a kind of Cockney sounding, not really, but a very sort of Cockney sounding Ceres, and then you have people realizing that Crispin Freeman, whatever that guy's name, no, Crispin Freeman I think his name is. Anyway, the dude who plays Alucard and Shizuo, his voice is just so great that they don't really need to worry about any accent with him. But, you know, like hearing the German, like how they have German people at one point because
the
Nazi vampires at one point. It really does kind of give this extra, what would be the proper word for it? Like I don't know, certification. Knowing that, authenticity. There you go. Thank you. It gives them this certain authenticity, knowing that like the characters now sound like their animated.
Yeah, the regions.
Yeah. So it's cool hearing Father Anderson, who's ever playing Father Anderson talking in a Scottish accent, especially. It also very much helps that it's a very frightening performance.
Yep.
But it's really cool seeing that, and when you have characters from other countries stepping in Durarara, you obviously have a French person at one point. You have
yeah. the woman, right? No, she was French.
Yeah, you're the one that told me she was French. I just thought I said Russian in the last episode, and you're like, no, I think she was French.
Yeah, because like when they were talking, like she was like, oui. I was like, I collect many lost items, and I was like, oh, that was a French accent. I thought it was like a Spaniard or Italian.
Yeah, so you have French, you have Italian at one point. You have
the
guy who gets kidnapped. Yeah.
Like, guys, please, I'm a Japanese. I'm not an immigrant.
I am no foreigner. Why are you kidnapping me?
More Russians in the second season.
Yeah. The other Russians that step in at one point, the show just takes place in Russian for like one episode.
Oh yeah, when they were going in Simeon's and his what was his friend's name? His coworker?
Simon? Fuck, I forgot the guy's name.
The other guy who like throws a knife when when in the first season when they're talking about the war that's going on.
I forget his name. I'll look it up right now.
But yeah, he gets involved as well.
Yeah, even though that guy they wanted. No shit, I have to remember. It's like 3, I think.
Yeah, and then one thing about this first part of the season 2 is it's like Yuhei gets a lot of screen time this time.
Which one was Yuhei again?
Chizuo's little brother.
Oh yeah. And then a character that we had actually mentioned last week, who was actually teased in the first season to.
Oh, the one with the cap, right?
Huh?
The one with the fedora?
No. Well, him, yeah, but no, the pop idol.
Oh yeah, the one who did the special effect murders.
Yeah, I didn't think she was hinted at all, but like she's in the first season for like a second.
Yep.
And then it ends up turning out to be like there's this serial killer running around and tearing people apart like an animal. And
dude, I completely forgot that was her.
Yeah.
when they removed the makeup and everything, I was like, holy shit, it's her?
Yeah. Well, it's because the thing is like she even wears clothing, like she doesn't wear clothing showing that it is like a meek girl. Like it's very baggy and chances are it might be due to something that's revealed about her, but she even looks kind of taller too.
Because I think she wears special shoes. Because like when they were describing her, she said like she was like not only a great singer, but she was like one of the best makeup artists around.
Yeah, it was like she was a makeup artist. I think she even did makeup for one of the movies that Yuhei was in.
Yeah.
But she did like makeup effects, and then someone's like, "You're really pretty. You should be a model." And then someone's like, "Fuck modeling. Let's turn you into a pop star." So before we go any deeper into it, let us start off, people, with our second week of Durarara, starting off with Durarara Season 2, Part 1. All of these openings are bangers.
Yeah. Oh, and then the Jury sisters.
Oh my god, they're like my favorite. I forget. One thing is, I forgot that they were related to a character, and I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot about that. I just thought you were 2 random chicks who showed up.
No, I forgot that one of them was bigger than the other. I thought they legit were the same.
Height-wise, or Okay, yeah.
I forgot one of them was bigger than the one that wears the gym uniform.
Yeah, I remember that one specifically about her because pervy reasons. I remember that. I just forgot that they were related to a character and a like big character. Oh yeah. they mentioned it in season 2.
Yeah.
Oh, someone edited. You can tell someone edited out the recap.
Yep. Because that's when it comes to... Yeah.
They should have kept it.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah. Also, that's how you can tell Sloan didn't have a big part in the show because he doesn't get credited.
I know. Because he was like, all they ever did was like he just met the sisters, right? But when they took it to Russia Sushi,
yeah,
to fix them up, and that's it.
Oh no. You're thinking of the guy who was sent to look for them.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, there was a guy who was looking. I think.
Oh, the one that met with Shinra's father.
Yeah, I think he was using Shinra's father to either look for Hollywood or look for them. But remember they had like a meeting.
I think he was looking for Hollywood.
Yeah, I think that's right because Shinra's father was looking for him too.
Yeah.
So, and then we know way later on after Verona and Sloan are fully brought up that guy goes to Russia Sushi and tells him, yeah, I'm looking for these 2 guys who stole like guns from us. And they're working for someone else. I'm just kind of here to bring them back. But yeah, it's like Sloan was the guy with the really big eyebrows.
Yeah, the one who really freaked the shit out of Henri.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I don't remember if they bring it up in a later season, but do they explain why they went after her? I don't know if maybe the dad
I
hired them.
forgot.
Yeah.
It's been so... I literally stopped at the second part of Durarara just because I wanted to wait for the dub at that point.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I missed the dub too much. I missed Steve Blum's voice too much for Kodota.
They knew that too because, like, remember, this is Aniplex.
Yeah.
And Aniplex, they will take 1 to 2 years making a dub depending on how big the show is. Sometimes you won't even get a dub. But we knew this one was guaranteed because they dubbed the first season and the voice actors they had back then are way bigger now.
Oh, yeah.
Like again, you're hearing people... You hear... For example, I brought this up last week. You hear Bryce Papenbrook and his Masaomi performance is really good, but at the same time, you can kind of tell...
He was starting off.
Yeah, he was starting off and didn't really know how to balance the voice yet. And then in this one, Masaomi is like his performance is way better. Mm-hmm. But again, this is like 5 years in the future where he was in a lot more stuff.
5 years in the future, and then like at the beginning, Masaomi was like here and there from the beginning of this part 1, just because again, this is like when he ran away with Saki.
Yeah. Yeah, Saki too, who by that point was already Lifa in Sword Art. Like,
and she doesn't sound as devious anymore.
No,
because like that's the thing that threw you off at the beginning. Like she sounded devious the whole time. Like no, I think that's just the voice actress. I think she was just trying to come off as sincere, but just came off devious.
Yeah. Well, like and the character design isn't helping you either, sweetie. You come off as really devious, and no, now she sounds like a legitimately caring girlfriend, and I'm really looking forward to either part 2 or part 3, where she actually has a moment with Henri, and they bring up the initial love triangle that was going on, and that made me. I remember laughing so hard, and I was at GCC. I was in the disability office, and then I just remember laughing my ass off at that scene, and the ladies behind the desk were looking at me like, "What the fuck's wrong with them?"
it's like, do you require services?
I'm like, no, I'm fine. They shouldn't be that surprised. No, I'm not going to make that joke. I don't want to go to hell. Anyway, I'm kind of liable to make that joke, though, because I'm in that category. No, I'm joking. That's no excuse. Anyway, Durarara Season 2 is the long-awaited sequel that a lot of people probably didn't think we were ever going to get.
I didn't think we were going to get it, so when it came out, it was a surprise.
Yeah.
Pleasant one.
A pleasant one, like, okay, everyone knows that one of the things to kill a season 2 is when they make an adaptation like the year the manga's ending, but then you look at that episode count and they're like, it's only 12 episodes long, and it's like, oh, that might be a bad thing. They might try to cram everything into 12 episodes, or they just say, nah, fuck it, like, let's just make a first season and then boom, it will kind of be like a promotion for the final volume.
Oh yeah.
And with this one, it's like the series started in 2007, the anime came out in 2010, and then just, Studio Brain, it probably didn't do as good as they were hoping for, so they just kind of let it sit. And then Studio Shuka came out and it's like, fuck it, let's just... Not only are we gonna release the anime like a year after the light novel series ended, but we're gonna finish it too, and we're giving it 30 episodes. We're giving it like 36 episodes, including the OVAs. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, the OVAs.
Yeah.
And
sorry, it's 30. It's 39 episodes with the OVAs. Yeah. Yeah. So what do you say?
And like one of the things about like Durarara, which like for me. Rewatching the first season, it took me a while to realize why it was so easy to adapt it. It's like Durarara is like probably like one of those animes that doesn't have like one of the most pleasing art styles. Because you can tell if anything, it's like just bare bones, like the basic animation technique and everything. Because a lot of the characters like they built here and everything, dude. I swear to God, I feel like I hallucinated this shit when I first watched it. Because like when I watched, it, I was like HD, and like now that I look at it, I was like, now that I look at it, the shading's kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah, and like there's a problem with that, a water fountain and water's falling down, and you could tell the people at Brain were just like, I don't want to fucking animate water, so let's just make it look like goop falling.
Yeah, and like one of the things about Durarara that like for me makes me think that it wasn't that as expensive to like or like challenging to adapt the style is that like, it was something that's just like anybody can pick up because a lot of like the backdrops like the scenes and everything that's like those were already like pre-made and everything so whoever like was picking this up didn't really have to like add much to it if anything.
Yeah, and like a good portion in some scenes, Ikebukuro actually came off as really barren.
Yeah.
And when you would see a mass of people, they were the mysterious monotone colored people from Ruby.
Oh yeah, they were just gray colored. Yeah.
Yeah. With like the exception of like a little, like red eyes or like a scarf that was a different color than them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a very, you're right, it was a very kind of like easy show for them to push out. Yeah. Which is maybe why they were able to go for 24 rather than maybe 12. I think if it was 12 episodes, it would have probably looked a lot better because we've seen Brain do like animes that looked fucking gorgeous, like Bloodlad is so colorful and vibrant and like over the top and fun.
But got 10 episodes only.
Yeah.
Which is still my gripe. Especially with the Vampire Hunters when they ended with that. I was like, that's too much of a tease.
Yeah, and then like again the manga ended and it was one of those apparently someone told me the guy had initially wanted this to go on for a while. So like the end of where the manga ended was supposed to be the ending of an arc and like a beginning of a new one. Oh. But that one was just flat out like, no, when you're done with this, that's it. So because it really wasn't that popular, which is why the anime was only 10 episodes like Konosuba because that was made specifically to make interest go towards the manga.
But Konosuba got 3 seasons though.
They did. And the fact that you guys got a 3rd season was a miracle because by season 2 they said, look, we didn't even think it was going to be this big. Yep. The anime did its job. The light novels are popular now. I don't think we have to make a 3rd season. But you don't have to. We want you to.
I know, man. And like the thing about the Konosuba shows and everything, like you can tell the voice actors were just having a ball, like recreating the scenes. Oh, I gotta pull out one of my favorite scenes. But
I want to watch it. I'm gonna watch it soon. But like one of my favorite things is watching something that's like heavily improv, like Rick and Morty or Mission to Zix, which is a podcast, is watching a show that's obviously being improv. Oh. So when you hear people deliver a joke, you actually hear them laughing after the joke. Like if you have you seen Rick and Morty?
Yeah, a couple episodes.
I'm gonna see if I can find Gazorpazorp Field. Because there's literally a part where you hear a guy like delivering a line and him going like like after it. Rick and Morty.
I'll look for the Konosuba clip that I'm looking for because that shit made me laugh so much.
Okay.
Because again, a lot of these things is like you can tell like especially the voice actor for Kazuma. Holy shit, man, that guy's so good at improv.
Here we go.
I hate my mom days, and I really could go for some enchiladas. Hey, Rick, that's pretty cool. It's just like Garfield, only instead it's a Gazorpazorp field. Hey, isn't Gazorpazorp where those sex robots came from? Remember that whole thing? Yeah. Hey, that's a pretty. That's true. That's right. Yeah. Let's watch some more Gazorpazorp Field. Hey, John, it's me, Gazorpazorp Field. Boy, fuck you, John, you fucking dumb, stupid idiot.
Come on, Gazorpazorp Field, go easy on me, huh?
You dumb, stupid, weak, pathetic, white, guilt, milquetoast piece of human garbage.
Jeez, Gazorpazorp Field, that's, you're pretty mean to me, but that takes the cake.
I don't give a fuck. I'm Gazorpazorp fucking Field, bitch. Now give me my fucking enchilada. Hey, Rick,
I just realized that was actually Justin Roiland who did Rick and Morty's voice.
But here, this is the one, like, again, another instance of like of them having fun.
What the hell? Wait, what is he? Wait, what?
It's because like in this season, like he managed to invent the kotatsu in their world by getting fire magic underneath the table and constantly being able to feed it energy.
Oh, what the hell?
And since like he only made it for the sole reason so that he can be lazy dead for the rest of his life. That's why he was fighting them back, because they were trying to get him out of the kotatsu.
I actually need to start watching this shit.
That's why that always gets me when he says the way he says freeze.
Sounded like an old man. What's funny is like it's dubbed Sentai, which I infamously do not like. They put out a dub, but they didn't use any of the Texan voice actors.
You like their figurines though.
What, Sentai figurines?
Yes.
Is this a Power Rangers joke?
Who knows?
I don't know what this is at. Anyway, but no, they have a dub, but they use the LA voice actor. So the girl who plays the pop idol, Christina V, is playing Darkness, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she plays Dark. Yeah, they play. So it's probably gonna be like, I think I am just gonna watch it in Japanese, and maybe I'll watch it again in English, depending how I feel about it. But yeah, so back to the show. Jesus,
that was a really big tangent. I just realized it.
I know, that was a gigantic fork in the road. It wasn't even like, I don't even think it was one of those ones that split and then will eventually come back. It was just like they split, and then you just need to worry about making a U-turn and going all the way back.
I know.
And then getting back on the right track.
But like, okay, I remember why we split off, because we were talking about voice acting and everything, especially when it came to dubs.
Oh yeah. We were talking about like literally we were talking about anime that were made specifically to sell the manga.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we got into Konosuba, because Konosuba was like, we're not making another season. After 2 seasons, it did its job. So, yeah, that's what you can kind of tell, given what they did with season 2, is Durarara definitely did have an audience.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they had people who are listening to it, who are reading it.
Especially Western fans and everything, because I'm telling you, after the first season premiered on Adult Swim and everything, that show just blew up in my high school.
Yeah.
Because it was like...
In my high school, someone actually... for some reason, they already had like a Celtic keychain. It was one of those like chibi ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it blew up, but the thing that was weird though is... That was like Adult Swim's like biggest, like, what the fuck is this show?
I know.
They haven't put season 2. I don't think so.
No, I don't think they've shown it at all, because like, I forgot what the reason was, but there's a reason why they couldn't. I think they couldn't get the rights to season 2 because it was done by a different studio.
Shit. Well, I mean, it was always Aniplex, so I'm wondering if there was something.
Or maybe something else is going down underneath.
I need to. Toonami was yesterday. I'd have to wait till like next week, but I need to see specifically what animes are playing over there, and if none of them are Aniplex animes, there might have been an issue going on. There might have been like hey, Adult Sim, fuck you for not doing this for us, or fuck you for doing this to us, or Aniplex. But yeah, because I know a lot of Adult Swim is Funimation shit, and it could also be maybe they have bigger, like animes that are even bigger profile than that, like JoJo, My Hero Academia are on there now, and maybe they just can't find a slot for that right now.
I can't even tell what shows are on Toonami anymore. I don't watch TV.
I don't watch a lot of TV either. I only watch it for like a few shows. And that's it. I'm either playing or I'm watching something else on the many streaming sites coming out. Or, of course, what I've been doing for the last month is fucking watching Hunter x Hunter.
Yep.
Thank you for... This is all your fault. You're the one saying, I'm rewatching it. And then I'm like, I should rewatch it. I should watch it, too. And I'm like, oh no! The rabbit hole! Ah! But, it has not been on Adult Swim, which is, again, a kind of a really big bummer. But, at least it has, like, the initial fans from Adult Swim being like, holy fuck, there's a season 2 and watching it here, because season 2 did not come quietly. When it came, there were people watching the dub, and the sub and the popularity of the anticipation for the dub came so fast that Aniplex or Bang Zoom, whoever put it out there, are just like, okay, fuck it, by the 8th week of the sub, we'll start putting the dub out there.
Damn, man, yeah. And again, like for me, I feel like this is like one of these shows, like one of the, I'm like, this makes, sorry, I can't say this with a straight face because like when the way the comment said it is like, it framed it perfectly. It was like, the way somebody described it in one of the streaming sites I watched the show is like, this show was the right amount of edge to like appeal to most high schoolers. And then it had the nostalgia factor when it came back again to get those high schoolers back to watch it now that they're in college.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, dude, you just described me right there.
Yeah, that was the one thing I forgot about season 1, about the show altogether, is just how fucking dark it is. Like,
dark and edgy.
Yeah, like again, we talked about the blue squares versus the yellow scars, and how that was just like, it was a bunch of middle school kids going at it, but then it eventually ends with them abducting a girl and then breaking her legs.
Yep.
In an attempt to get the leader so they can kill him.
And then the blue squares ended up pulling a Hydra on the freaking yellow scars by infiltrating them.
Yeah, and then in season 2, you have the blue squares pulling a Hydra on fucking the dollars.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, with the freshman that Mikado meets.
Yeah, yeah, dude. So okay, let me get this straight. The person who was the leader of the Yellow Scarves was the big brother of Abba. Or was Abba...
No, Masaomi was the leader of the Yellow Scarves.
Sorry, the blue squares.
Oh.
Was it the older brother who was the leader? Or was it this guy we're seeing now who was the leader?
I think it was the older brother.
Yeah, they said he got locked up.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine them, like, putting him back in the same city.
I think if anything, he might be, like, like up there, but I don't know if he was the leader or not.
Yeah, it might have, yeah, you know what, I think it might have been like, he was there, and then when his brother got locked up, he changed his name and doesn't like being called Izumi, which I'm guessing is the family name.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, that really gets to him.
Yeah, I think the family name or the first name is Alba, like Alba. And he does not want to be called Izumi, so yeah, I'm guessing you're right on that. He's the little brother of the leader, but now that big brother's gone, he's trying to basically, start them over again by taking over the dollars.
Yeah. And
working with like
the Yuri sisters.
Working with the Yuri sisters and working with his like ragtag group of like ex-Blue Scarf members.
Yep.
Who some of them are kids?
I know, dude. When I saw them, I was like, oh my god, this is getting confusing again.
Yeah.
I was like, welcome back to that Durarara. What the fuck is going on moment?
Yeah. So altogether, there's like 6 of them, and about 4 of them look like kids. But then you have this one dude who's like fucking tall with like a face of like a 40-year-old man.
I know.
And apparently he's supposed to be that age. And the thing is too, I thought, what's his name? Dota was like maybe 2 years older, maybe still in high school.
Who?
But Dota-chin.
Oh, Kadota?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I thought he was their age, like maybe 2 years older than them, but he's like 24.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
You didn't?
I didn't remember that.
They mentioned it because like all those guys like Kadota, Subaru, Izaya, Shinra, and Shizuo, they all more or less knew each other when they were going through high school and everything.
Dota? I don't remember Dota knowing them though.
No, they got to know him through the Blue Squares because he was initially Blue Squares. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, okay then. Yeah, but again, I forgot he was that old. So like when he said...
That's why Steve Blum's always helps with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just thought it was another one of those, well, he's playing a 17-year-old character, and he looks kind of gruff, so we could just say fuck it and have Steve Blum play a kid. But yeah, he's a 24-year-old guy, and again, one of the fucking amazing things about the voice act, about the dub cast coming back is
Steve Blum.
But also you have Yuri Lowenthal coming back, and the thing with those two is they have been gone from anime for a long time. Like, they have not been in an anime for almost, like, 5 years by that point. Maybe a little less than that. Like, 4 years.
Because then after that, Steve Blum did a lot of, like, voices for a lot of, like, video game characters and everything.
Video game... I know. He's still one of my favorite, like... He's in one of my favorite video games of all time, Bulletstorm.
Oh.
Have you heard of that game?
I have not.
Oh, fuck, I gotta lend you it. Okay. Yeah, they made a PS4 port for it.
Ooh.
But, yeah, dude, it's literally just... It's an M-rated game where the humor is super childish, but Steve Blum is playing like the main character, and it's amazing.
Ooh.
But yeah, then you have Yuri Lowenthal, who's been popping up in a lot of cartoon shows and also video games as well. A lot of like, you know, still Japanese video games, so his weeb roots are still there. But it is, yeah, by that point, okay. Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, when was that first time I... That was like 2007.
Yeah.
So this was before then, so, you know, that's why both of them are still in this one year. But it is amazing how, like, Crash Zoom could have just been like, well, they're union voice actors now, so I don't think they'd come back because they won't get paid by the union.
Yeah.
But they came back, and their roles get increasingly bigger as the show goes on, with Dota-chin having basically the boss fight of the season.
Yeah, dude! That fight
was awesome.
I know.
It's funny because they're not like over the top, they're just like the right amount of like tense but like grounded but like engaging to the point where you can still enjoy it.
Like it's a breath of fresh air, like you mentioned, because like it's, you know, like any human with enough experience could do this. Like, it's grounded in reality.
Yeah.
So you get to see like, alright, they may not be like superhumans or anything, but you can tell like these guys are just are dangerous through experience, not because of superpowers.
Yeah. Yeah, you have one guy who is believed, watch, someone is gonna like correct us saying it's not him. But you have one guy who is believed to be in the Blue Squares running his own group in Saitama, or where were they at?
I think it was Saitama, because like you're talking about the guy in the cap, right?
Yeah.
I think it was
Saitama, and the gang was called like the Subaru or something like that.
Because I know he tried to do his own spin with it. That's why he was really popular with people.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's running his own gang, which their color is white, like primarily white.
Yeah.
And
I remember that part.
Yeah, and he runs his own. So basically, what's going on is it is officially officially 6 months after the events of the first season.
Yep. Did it take I think it took place right after Henri and Mikado's date, a couple of weeks after their date.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a couple of months. So the date episode was a couple of months after that, and then it was a few weeks after that episode. Which again, nothing there. There's a lot of tension going on there, but again, the show doesn't dive on it too much.
Mm.
It's just that now, 6 months later, one of the big things to come into their lives is that now that Henri and Mikado, the student council members again, so Mikado specifically got assigned to like show a freshman around.
Yeah.
And the freshman, his name, I forget the actual name, but his name is like, I know his primary name is Alba.
Here, I can pull it up.
Alright, where's my phone? Here we go. So, so basically 6 months after the events, Mikado is given the job of escorting around a freshman who is actually new to the city, so, you know, his whole plan is, well, me and Henri are gonna show him around the city, but one of the big...
Aoba Kuronuma.
Kuronuma, okay, I'm not gonna remember.
Aoba.
Aoba.
Aoba, let's call him Aoba.
Okay. That will be easy because I was one of the few people who saw Dramatical Murder, if anyone remembers that anime. I'm one of the few people who have actually seen that one.
I heard of it, but I hadn't watched it.
Oh, dude, it's yaoi bait.
I know it is. Dude, the minute I saw everybody, including, like, what was that guy's name, like, Nier or Clear?
I think it might be Noise?
Noise, yeah.
Yeah, Noise. Yeah, no, it was super yaoi bait.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, nope. Yeah, I can tell where this is gonna go.
I honestly thought it was going to go somewhere cooler than that. And, like, the show given was interesting, but it never reached the point that would, that would satisfy me. So, by the end, I'm just like, oh yeah, it's yaoi bait, and a lot of the good reviews are actually coming from females, which is understandable. But yeah, so.
Oh, and I was looking at the character. I forgot his Shinra's father remarried in this season.
Shinra's father. Oh yeah.
Emilia. I completely forgot he remarried.
And wait, Amelia?
That's her name.
So is it believed that she is American then? Because I know they got married in America. I just didn't know she might be an American then.
I believe so. Yeah, I forgot that he got married to her.
Oh, yeah, I remember that part. I just didn't know when would be like a good point to bring her in. But
one of my favorite characters too.
Yeah, but that actually the whole thing with Aoba, Alba, is it brings in this big point of contention between Mikado and him, because Mikado wants to be nice, but at the same time he doesn't want to make any moves on Henri until they know where their standing is with Mikado. And Masaomi, thank you. I know the two. There's some soap opera twin brother shit going on here. No, they don't want to know where they're standing with Masaomi is yet, because they both were aware that Masaomi was also into her. Mm-hmm. Even though if you watch season 1, Masaomi is trying to give him opportunities more than he is.
Yeah.
And is only planning to make a move when Henri just flat out rejects him. Which totally might not happen. But you have this point of contention because like this guy is messing with him, is like flirting with her too, but at the same time you kind of tell that he might be flirting with her calculatedly.
Yeah.
Like he's doing it knowing that it's bothering Mikado, and he has this big interest in Mikado, and obviously in episode 1 he does say like, I know you're in the dollars, but he didn't know he was the leader, he just knew he was in there.
Yeah, or at least associated with them.
Yeah. So that's like one of the big point of contentions. The thing that's interesting about the show is you have a lot of you have less Isaiah in this season. Like he'll pop up every now and then, mm-hmm. and occasionally causes a really big fight near the end.
Oh yeah.
But when he's gone, it is flat out replaced by this new character who is Baby Isaiah.
Oh!
Yeah, because that's how he acts. He's like so calculated. He knows what he's doing. And it is funny because his whole thing is that he wants to kill Isaiah too. And because he knows Isaiah has a death grip on the city and he wants to get that grip. But at the same time, his biggest card, he can't really play it because he kind of wants to bone that card he has, which is Isaiah is actually a big brother.
Yep.
To two, I forget the name.
Oh, I have them right here. Their names are, I know it's like one of them's like Kururi and Mairu.
Okay, yeah, so he has two twin sisters. They're twins to each other. They're not twins to him. They're little sisters. And they are super gay.
No, they're twins.
Twins. No, that triplets? That's what I mean. They're not twins to him.
Oh, yeah, no, they're twins to each other.
Yeah. So they're his baby sisters, and do they explain why they're barely coming into Ikebukuro? Do they just live with the parents until they went to high school?
No, like they pretty much just transferred in because like this when they show up was when they all started their first year in Raira Academy. So like Kururi, Mairu, and then Aoba, like they're freshmen.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty much just freshmen at Raira, and then that's when Mikado and Henri are like second years.
Yeah, and so like one of the okay, so there's three major things with these twins. The number one, the giant fangirls to Yue. You said his name was.
Yeah, Yuhei.
Yeah, there we go. Because Yuei's the girl term. Yuhei. What was his last name you were saying?
When he goes by his actor's name, he goes by Yuhei Kanejima.
Kanejima.
Hane. I meant to say Hane.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they're big fans of Shizuo's little brother, and
They know Shizuo. They know Shizuo as well.
Yeah, they know Shizuo. They're big fans of him. They are also, like, of course we called them the Yuri sisters at one point because they do, like, make out with each other and, like, cuddle with each other.
At the end of, like, 20, of season 1. When they get first introduced out of nowhere.
Yeah, when they get introduced, it's like they're there in the episode, but then at the end they, like, make out, and it's like, oh, okay, this is a very close kinship. And at one point when it's announced that Yuhei and the pop idol, I forgot her name,
Rui,
when it's announced that they're dating, one of them is clearly bothered by this, and then the other one, like, makes out with her to kind of calm her down.
Yeah.
But another really big thing that I forgot, again, shows you how long ago I've seen the second season, is they're fucking psychotic.
Yep.
They're like one... this is something, I don't condone violence in school, but if you have methods of stopping bullying before it can happen, do it.
Ooh, especially Mairu.
Yeah.
That's the one with the glasses. The one that look like...
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing. They look differently the way they're dressed.
Yeah. And I think they even have, like, inverted clothing. Because one was a green skirt with a yellow top, and then the other one was a green top with a yellow skirt.
Oh, I never noticed that.
You never noticed that?
No, I legit was just like, this is how stupid I was when I rewatched it again, or this is how late night I was rewatching it. I just watched it, and I'm like just looking at their clothes like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, well, when they're not in school, because the weird thing they do is that one wears a Kiryu, you said her name was? The one with the glasses?
Mairu.
Mayuru, I'm not going to try to pronounce that again. She was a girl's school uniform that is not the school uniform of the school. And then the other one just was like a gym uniform.
Yep.
Probably not even a part of the school either, because we haven't seen the gym uniforms.
And yeah, the second one's the one that's bigger.
Yeah, she one of them is really busty. And then, like, my favorite thing about the twin aspect in anime is that you have one that is invariably very happy, but then you have the other one that might be bustier and is just very deadpan. And
yeah.
It makes her more attractive to me than the other one, because we have twins like this in Data Life too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those I remember those twins.
Dude, they were super fucking thirsty. But yeah, like those twins, the same thing. The one that was really deadpan was also bustier than the one that was more active.
And I think it was interesting how Izaya described pretty much why their personalities were like that. Because like when Izaya was telling Seiji's sister, what was her name?
Yamie, I think.
Yeah. Namie.
Namie?
Yeah, the second one.
Cool.
Yeah, so like when he was telling her, like when she asked him about his sisters, like yeah, it's like, but those two actually chose different personalities that would complement each other. So if one lacked a certain aspect, the other would make up for it.
Yeah.
And that's why he described them as like weak people, because like they chose to make up for each other's weaknesses rather than confront them by themselves.
Mm-hmm. And they're always together. You almost never, actually, I don't think you see them separated at all throughout the show. They really are just one character being depicted by two personalities. But like one of the things they do is they realized, oh yeah, they're being bullied, and it's probably for the obvious reason that all the boys like them because they're new and one's busty and the other one's really happy and cute.
Oh, well, that was her introduction.
Oh yeah, one's like, for the guys, my heart belongs to another dude, but for the girls, I swing both ways. and then the other one's like really busty and cute. But it's funny because one realizes just Mayuru sees that two girls are like whispering to each other and looking at her, so almost immediately she throws something at them, and it's like, which one's the leader of this group? And it's like, that one. And when she tries to make a run for it, she ends up like throwing thumbtacks at her way. And that was another thing too, is like while she was trying to figure out which one of the girls was the leader, she opened her jaw and was about to put like push pins in her mouth.
Yep.
And and of course they're like, okay, well we can't deal with the crazy with the other sister, so let's go for the other one, and that one fucking put flammable explosives in the backpack.
Oh yeah, the paint thinner that caught her bag on fire afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, they put. There we go. It was paint thinner. You're right. It was paint thinner, and then it ignited, and like the bag caught on fire. And they were like, what the fuck happened? Hey, was it you? Because you were defending them and then this happened. And it's like, no, it wasn't me. And it's like, oh, well, okay, I guess there's nothing we can do since we don't know how it happened or who did it. But yeah, they're freaking crazy. And that's kind of the big thing with this season is very insane.
And in case you guys want to hear it, this is how the fight went down.
Oh.
I hope it's the dub.
Oh no.
Nope. that was enough to tell me.
I can find it. What episode is that again?
The first one.
First episode? Okay, I'll find it. Take it from here.
But yeah. And then pretty much like the tried and true as it was to the original and everything. Durarara season 2 is pretty much setting you up for like the next big part, because whenever like one of the things that Durarara set out to like spread the message with the first episode is that although Ikebukuro is just like any other city, there's always something that happens underneath, especially when it comes to the underground or just in the background in general. Because by the end of like I think it was like the second or third episode, that's when you like meet no, I think it was the first episode when Salty loses her money.
Yeah.
That you get introduced to like the guy from the Yakuza that you saw in season 1.
What guy was that?
The one in the white suit.
Oh, okay,
Remember when Shino was like stuck in that that dark bubble that Salty left him in?
Yeah.
And then when he heard the door open, it's like, oh, Salty's like, you know how much like neglect is a fetish for me. And like the guy's like, never heard of a neglect fetish, but doctor, we need your help right now.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Wait, was it episode 2? I don't think it was episode 2.
I thought it was episode 1.
I'm trying to look for that scene. I'm gonna try 2. Because episode 1, from what I was flipping through, it looked like just a lot of establishing the older characters and bringing in the new ones.
That's true. And then again, like for this season, you get to realize that a lot more organizations are going to be involved in this one as well as compared to the first one. Because not only do we get a lot of like hints that the Russian mafia and like the Yakuza are getting involved, but there's also a bounty placed on Salty as well.
What?
By the American guy. Remember who wants to interview her?
Oh, the American producer who was put in charge of like a Japanese company.
Yeah, Yuhei.
Yeah,
who's Yuhei's agent, I think.
And he had what was that girl's name in Shoot, what was that girl's name in Asobi Asabase? The
Which
one that was American?
Oh, Olivia.
Yeah, Olivia. He had an Olivia thing going on, but even though he was American, he didn't speak English.
Yeah. So it was spoken like broken Japanese and shit.
Yeah.
Which for me, I remember in the sub. The sub, I remembered it clearly, but in the dub, it just didn't make any sense at all. Because like he was trying to talk in an accent, and then like one of his secretaries was like, why do you always speak in such weird Japanese?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's only a thing lost in the subs.
Oh, here we go. Yep.
Oh, sweet.
Found it.
Is it on your earphones?
No. Wait, is it? I thought I turned it off. What the hell are the earphones? Shoot, that's not good then, because that means they're on the whole time.
Wait, but we were able to hear it last time though.
Yeah. No, I turned it off. I think it said there was a playback error. So let me see. Okay, the power's off. No, okay, you know what? Yeah, there was a playback error. What? Yeah, I'll figure it out. Anyway,
Right.
Keep going.
Oh yeah, there's a bounty placed on Salty this time as well by Mr. Hollywood. No, Mr. Hollywood. That's another character.
Yeah.
I just like calling him Mr. Hollywood because like, yep, this guy seems like an American producer from Hollywood.
Oh, but there you go. They very much play it off that way.
Yep.
He's jumping all over the classroom.
I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. Who's the boss? Point her out to me. 3, 2,
Oh my God.
1, 0. Thanks a lot. Hey, not so fast. You can't run away. Why don't we go to the girls' room and have a chat? You know what? Come on, pay attention, would you? I don't even know what your name is, but for some reason I really, really want to be your friend now.
Like one of them's knocked out.
It was quite a terrifying experience, which thank God this was probably happening in lunch, so they didn't know.
Dude, and she was forcing her jaw open by squeezing her face up like that. That was horrifying.
Yeah, like it's the thing I've noticed people do with dogs when they need to have them take vitamins, but they squeeze like the joint between the lower and upper jaw, which
So that it just locks pretty much.
And the fact that she took so long to answer that the thumbtack's already in the process of falling, and she caught him at the last minute. But yeah, it's like you have weird little moments like that. You have these weird characters running around who get. I think they end up getting welcomed into the big group because they got harassed by the rival gang who moved into. Yeah, they got harassed by the rival gang, and then Kadota and the other guys, they end up showing up and trying to stop them.
Yep.
Which, man, there was I forgot, but when Erica and Walker fight, they get like really violent with each other. Where Erica just like punches Walker, and you think like, oh shit, what happened with them? And yeah, they start talking about lollies and just like really stupid stuff that you're like, oh, right, we do need to remember this is Erica and Walker. They're not going to be arguing about something legitimate. Even though, I mean, to weebs, that is a very legitimate argument.
No, yep. And then pretty much for them, like, that's pretty much what adds to, like, their dynamic chemistry and everything, because, those two are so good with each other.
I know. They are getting shipped so hard by the community. And yes, there's Dojin of them.
Yep.
Yep, it's out there. It's Lewis and Hyoka with me, where I know it's there. I just don't want to remember it's there because these characters mean so much to me, but that I don't want to know.
Well, for me, it's more hearsay because I remember people talking about it in high school. Because after the first season and everything, especially like a lot of people really like to ship them a lot.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would talk about it, especially some like one of my closest friends. She really liked that pairing as well, and I was like, okay. Interesting. I was like, I feel the same as well.
Yeah, and I think if the characters, and I think if two people who didn't care about getting the credit for doing it, I think we probably would see more couple cosplays of those two, because I've never have. I've seen them online, but I've never seen them in person.
I remember seeing one in my first year of AX.
Oh.
But that was like just of Erica, there was no Walker.
What year was that? Did you go?
Well, I think it was like 2014.
Oh, that was the year that was the year back when they kept the marketplace open to everyone?
Yeah.
So I was there, but I wasn't there officially. I just, they let me in, and I went there after the exclusivity timer ended.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, so, yeah, but like you were saying, they're there, but there's not a lot of them, and I think this would be like a really big couples cosplay.
Oh, yeah.
If I wasn't so dark, I would probably do that if I had a significant other.
What are you talking about? You'd be Erica.
She's not. They're both pale as paint. What are you talking about?
You got Erica's hair.
Hey, no. Don't make fun of my mullet. It wasn't my idea.
Oh no, man! I'm trying to let this grow out for 2 more years.
But wouldn't it just grow out?
No, not if I style it, because the thing about it, I'm trying to cut the front out just so I can let it go back.
Oh, so you're gonna have that anime thing going on.
Oh no, I'm trying to look like a soccer player that I really like.
Oh, okay.
It's just that since my hair's curly, that's the funny thing. It's because of my curly hair. If it weren't for my curly hair, it would have looked more anime styled. But because of my curly hair, it's gonna look more like my Mexican hero.
Yeah. So going back to it, that's one thing you reminded me, that there is this producer who is in who basically took over the agency that's in charge of Rui and Yuhei, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, and he wants Celti. And you know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of Ajin. How that one guy, I forget his name, but he was discovered to be an Ajin, and the news media was the one, like, if anyone can find information of him, we'll give you like 100 million yen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like the same thing happened to them. The same thing happened there with Celti, where this guy's like, holy fuck, what is that thing? You know, like, yeah, it's an urban legend around here. And it's like, oh, I want to interview that. So she's still being like harassed by the cop because the cop was made there specifically to catch her. But now she has like this news van following her, giving like live 24/7 coverage of the Black Rider.
Dude, and that was funny though, because when she was escaping and everything, like when they had her surrounded by the building.
Yeah.
Remember when she threw the little glider and everything? I love that one line that the cop said and everything's like, what are you, Lupin the Third? God. Yeah. You remember when they said that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't just hallucinate that.
Yeah, they're all looking at him like, whoa, and he's just like, who do you think you are, Lupin the Third? I'm like, oh my god, weeb. But yeah, see, again, that was the thing I forgot from the first season. It's like, the cop is a weeb. It's awesome.
He's a weeb, and then they do a lot of anime references, like when Erica and Walker were trying to decide what what Hollywood is like. He's like Death Gun from Sword Art Online.
Yeah. And that's funny because this is 2015, so the Gun Gale arc had just come out by that time. Like it was only a year old. So when they brought up Death Gun, I'm just like, yeah, that's a funny little reference there. But sorry, my mind is just all over the place.
Just like this show.
Right? So, yeah, that's the funny thing. They bring up Death Gun, and I think I'm thinking of first season again, where they're just walking around this anime store and they're giving their monologue, but no, that was the first season. Because none of them, what this show focused on is they focused on the side characters giving monologues now.
Oh, yeah.
Like Yuhei, Namie she had a monologue episode.
And like the funny thing about this second season as well is like it's not just one person running a monologue throughout the whole episode, but you get one or two people at now.
Yeah.
Like where you see one side of them, and then like when it shifts to like another part of the city, like you get that person who's there like giving their monologue as well.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because in the first season it was just like one person giving the monologue for the entire episode.
Yeah, and they did that one episode because again his monologue episode was an OVA, but they did that a little bit with Erica's episode where at one point it's both of them giving it, but for the rest of it it's still Erica. But like I think they kind of did that because they're like, well, we know Walker's episode is an OVA and people probably want to hear Walker, so we'll just give his monologue with another character that he works well with. And
you know what I realized?
What?
This guy, I feel like if anything, this is like a modern day like Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
What do you mean?
Because you know how like in China, how in Chinese like one of like the most like one of the most famous I think it was like one of the more famous like time periods of in ancient China was the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, where you had like the three kingdoms of Wei, Shu, and Wu. I think that's what they were. I'm like relying off of like high school memory right now, so I could be completely wrong and sound like an oblivious idiot.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that's what the three kingdoms were named, because then like the thing was like each of those three kingdoms was vying to control China, which is why it was called the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, because you have each three of them like working like at one point working together, and then like one against the other, and then just trying to like pretty much like I think it was like they were fighting over the remnants of the Han Empire, which is the last dynasty to take over.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, like the reason why I draw the parallel to like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, because in the first season, you have your three factions there. You have the Yellow Scarves, the Dollars, and then you have the Psychism Legion as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing I forgot to mention last week too, is how Psycha is identified as like a gang at one point, because in this second season, was it the first season too? But But she starts using her power to start implanting spies and using them.
Yeah, it was the first season.
The first season. Yeah. You're right, because she took over members of the Yellow Scarves, who were actually the Blue Square.
Some was part of the Blue Squares, yeah.
Yeah, and she ends up using them to kind of thwart their plans or find out information on what's exactly going on. So, yeah, that's the thing I forgot, too. And this, what ends up happening near the middle of the first season, what we haven't seen the last of them yet, so we will get a return of that specific game soon.
Yeah.
But one thing I forgot to bring up that finally had a answer to the question is, in the first season I didn't quite understand how Henri was breaking. Well, it wasn't Henri. It was believed that it was the other girl, but I didn't know how that other girl kept breaking into the chat room again, even though they kept blocking her.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh wait, this chat room might not have name exclusivity. So basically, it was just thousands of people who were possessed by the Psycho Blade going in the chat room and posting those things.
Yeah.
Which is why they couldn't ban it, because it was completely different URLs.
Yeah. And then drawing back to the parallel made with the Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's an interesting read for history, just because you'll see a lot of shows draw a lot of parallels to that. If you see Prison School, there's this one guy who's completely obsessed with that time period.
Was it one of the main 4 kids who got locked up? I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
You remember how he had that one? That one figurine with the guy on the red horse.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one He's pretty much one of the famous generals of Shu, I believe.
I've heard that name. Well, I probably heard it from the show then.
And you find this heard it from a show, but one video game that popularized it was Dynasty Warriors.
That's right. Okay, because this is Let's Player that loves those games, and he has mentioned that game a bunch of times. Mentioned the name a bunch of times too. But so that's Chinese lore? I thought it was Japanese.
No, that's Chinese, because that took place in mainland China.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And then but Japan again with a lot of people especially if you're a history otaku, that's one of those things people a lot of focus a lot, because that was an interesting time in China as well. Mm-hmm. How you have people focusing in World War II or Romance of the Three Kingdoms or the Shogunate and everything.
Yeah.
Because those are really popularized a lot of times in their histories that get really popularized in modern times. Mm-hmm. And drawing back to the before I go on on a tangent again, but going back to the whole Romance of the Three Kingdoms, that's actually where the Yellow Scarves get their names, because the Yellow Scarves are actually based on the rebellious group that actually rebelled against the Han Dynasty. Oh. That actually again were called the Yellow Scarves, I think. That took their name again, they wore yellow robes or yellow clothing to symbolize the difference from the Han Dynasty.
Huh.
So that's why in season 2, that's why that's where I forgot, was it Masaomi or one of the former Yellow Scarves explains the reasoning of why they formed that group.
Oh no, I don't remember that scene at all.
But and for them the Yellow Scarves was always a sign of rebellion, because I think there was a famous incident called the Yellow Rebellion, where they actually rebelled against the Han Dynasty, and which caused the collapse of it, because it was just too much I think instability.
So does that mean that the Blue Squares does a parallel to the Han Dynasty, or?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because the thing is that makes sense, but then when you start thinking of the Blue Squares and what they stood for, you start to realize that the Blue Squares might have just been a chaotic force. That Masaomi's whole thing, I do remember, is he made it specifically because he wanted to avoid any rule by adults. Yeah. Which is why one of the big things that bothered him was when those 3 guys joined the group and they were older. They were older than high schoolers.
What was his name? The one guy with the blonde hair.
Fuck, I forgot his name. It was something with an M, because he heard the name. What's his name? Dodachin heard the name and kept repeating it to himself because he's I've heard that name before.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember Erica was I was oh, is he chanting something? It's is this an attack spell? It's no, I think it's one of those servant spells that he uses for casting commands. And I was oh, that Fate reference.
I think it was Minoru or something. It was something like that.
I can't remember, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing Masaomi told them is, I don't want anyone older than you joining. Last thing I need is someone from the Yakuza coming in here and taking over. Which, ends up happening later on.
Yep.
but more on that later. So one of the big takeaways in this arc is not only do we have, Celti being hounded by the media, or Mikado being kind of slowly being manipulated by this new kid showing up, but we also have the inclusion of a serial killer running around with Shizura type strength and going in and just tearing people apart, and they're dressing themselves up. First, the initial attack was a werewolf, and then a merman, the creature from the Black Lagoon.
And then they dressed as a dinosaur.
It was a dinosaur at one point with like a mohawk, I think.
Yeah.
Went into a hotel room and killed a bunch of Yarakuzu members. And then on the night that it had its initial run-in, that was kind of an eye-opener for them, was they got into a fight with one of the Russian syndicate members that was sent to look for Sloane in Verona.
Yeah.
And they ended up both accidentally getting Shizura involved in the fight, and Shizura, as usual, kicks both of their asses, thinking they're just thieves because the Russian guy took his briefcase to defend himself from Hollywood, and Hollywood broke the briefcase with their punch, and he thought, hey, those fuckers are trying to steal the money. You no good rotten thieves!
Oh, yeah. But this is like one of the things that like always mystifies me is how pretty much how that Russian guy ended up much worse for wear than the idol chick.
Yeah, and one of the big things with the idol chick is it's revealed that Hollywood was Rui, this beloved idol character, and her whole thing is like, as we explained earlier, she was a famed makeup artist that became a model, and then someone said, fuck modeling, but I could turn you into like a pop star. And she's like one of the biggest pop stars in all of Japan, to the point where like the fact that she lives in such a giant city is like, yeah, we can't. For example, Yuhei, they couldn't take this little girl to Yuhei's house because they're like, yeah, they're gonna wonder why two men are bringing a little girl into Yuhei's apartment because the paparazzi are gonna be there. But she's super she's super popular, but she has this weird thing going on where she doesn't feel human. She feels this monstrous urge inside her, or knows that she's a monster and doesn't know how she can live like a normal human. So killing kind of gives her this sense of normality, but it isn't until she meets, Yuhei just finds her laid on the floor or something like that?
Yeah, because like that's when she like when she lands and then she's still in the zombie makeup, and then like that's when Yuhei realizes like, oh, this is a disguise.
Yeah. And he ends up taking her to Shinra's apartment because he's the seedy underground doctor who don't ask no questions. Sorry, I was thinking of the Goon. That's a comic book reference. A really obscure comic book reference. But like he ends up taking her to there, and she's like, she tries to kill him, or at least threatens to kill him, and then he's like, yeah, it's fine. I don't really feel scared right now, because when I grew up, my big brother had a huge anger issue, and I told myself I'd never be like him, but it kind of resulted in me not feeling anything at all.
Yep.
And that's why I like being an actor, because acting gives me a sense of feeling. I may not be those characters, but when I'm playing this character, I feel what he feels, and that's why acting is like one of the best things in the world for me.
And why he's a really good actor as well, because like when we saw like Greg's what was it episode 25 when he was doing the couples thing, but you can see him just like being able to like on the flip of a hat change his like tone and everything to match the whatever they're covering.
Yeah.
Ooh, especially with when he's first doing like the couples thing, then he visits Russia Sushi.
Yeah.
And then when Shizuo gets in the fight, it's like all of a sudden like I am convenience vending machines are flying everywhere. Is this the work of global warming? Has somebody like turned off gravity here? More later on.
Yeah. And initially that wasn't the case with him when he was starting off, because he did take everything seriously at one point. Like, there was that part they mentioned in the second season that he was on a pranker show where these Yakuza guys went in there and forced him to chop his hand off, and he was about to do it, and then security had to come in and like pull him off.
Oh yeah, when he was about to cut his pinky, and I was and then that's where the American guys are like, that's why I wanted you hate that devotion.
Yeah, yeah, because initially it was, I don't know if you've ever seen the show called Scare Tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what he was basically in. He was supposed to get freaked out, but he's just like, oh, okay, if I have to. And you just see like the producers and security like grab his hand and keep the knife from going down. But yeah, they really wanted him, and he was even in the process of trying to get Ruri too, and he was able to get Ruri because
Ruri or Ruri?
Ruri?
Ruri, I think it was.
Okay, yeah, he ends up getting her too because she. So initially, what happens is when she hears Yuhei's story, it kind of gives her like a backing off notion, like, oh, okay, well, he's different. But then she meets Celti and meets how Celti has a normal life and has a boyfriend, and realizes, oh, a monster can live a normal life. I don't have to act like a monster. And after that, she ends up, She ends up hooking up. Thank you. I was trying to find a way to bring boinking into that. I wanted to say boinking and not hooking up. I wanted to be crude. But yeah, they end up hooking up, and that's actually one of the reasons of how the guy was able to get her in the agency is because, Yuhei's in there, so she wants to be in there too. And, but one of the things they bring up about her is she's a Dullahan. Or a type of Dullahan. Because remember, she has like this suit of armor, and then in the next scene, we see her running down the side of a building with no head. And it is supposedly supposed to be her.
Damn, man.
You don't remember that?
I remember that part, but like for me, I'm like trying to say, like, I wonder if they mentioned it beforehand, or if like we're just assuming at this point.
I don't think they ever. Okay, so I know you haven't seen the other two seasons, but I'll say this right now. They never go into what exactly she was. Okay. I just kind of assumed she was a Dullahan. But again, I don't know. She could probably be a form of spirit that just copied Celti or something. But it's never necessarily shown why she looked like that. Like, I was maybe thinking maybe it was like a Halloween effect. Mm-hmm. But again, she has like this ominous smoke going out, and they never really explain if it was fake or not. I think
that's like something I need to see the season 2 and everything, because like that also left me wondering as well.
Yeah, but again, they don't really initially bring that up, and I'm starting to think if she really is paranormal, or if she using her movie magic skills did something. But I don't know. She ends up running down the side of a building looking like a Dullahan, and then one of the things that ends up happening is Celti ends up beating up one of these new gang members who moved in.
Oh, yeah.
So you have, like, again, like, what's going on to the city is really bad, but those gang members kind of crack me up because they're running around in these really tacky-looking bikes.
Oh, yeah! The zebra-colored bikes.
The zebra-colored bikes, but, like, the headlamp, like, the front guard is, like, way above their heads.
No, that's actually a thing in, like, the Japanese motorbike gangs. I think that's, like, something from, like, the 80s or 90s when, like, biker gangs were a thing. It's kind of like... I think it was like, if anything, to complement the pompadour, if anything, because you know how like they had the pompadour to stick up? Yeah. They use that as well, kind of like as a sign of status, if anything. I think that's what it was, but I could just be completely pulling this out of my ass, because again, this is like, Durarara is pretty much one of those things that got me into like biker gangs of Japan.
Yeah. You should watch Guitar Wolf, which is a zombie movie that was made to promote a band's new album. And it was so fucking weird. but anyway, but I think they have the people... No, they rode around like in a hot rod, my bad. I don't think it was good actual motorcycles. But anyway, they end up chasing her around, and what ends up happening somewhere in the city is Henri is in a karaoke bar. Yeah, and ends up meeting Shinra's father.
Oh, yeah, that's when Masaomi and Henri met with Erica and Walker, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Those two ended up meeting, Erica and Walker, and she ends up going out to go to the restroom and ends up running into Shinra's father, who recognizes her because it's like, oh, I had the Psycho Blade and then I sold it to your dad, and then, the whole shenanigans.
But she didn't recognize him?
Yeah.
And then she has the run-in with the big Russian guy.
Yeah, and the big Russian guy shows up and saying, oh, excuse me, young lady, but, like, I'm here conducting business with him. And it isn't until Celty ends up getting pinned down by not pinned down, but just, like, pinned by the motorcycle gangs in the tunnelway, that the Russia guy shows up, and then Rui in the suit of armor shows up, and it's revealed that when the moment the guy touched Henri's shoulder, Psycho poked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the thing about Psycho, since it is a demonic blade, is that it can live inside of her.
Yeah.
And
is slowly becoming more sentient and is forming better words on its own.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught that, because at that point, when Henri was in the karaoke, that's when Psycho was able to talk. Was able to talk. So when it saw Shingen, it was it recognized him as her old master.
Yeah. You're right, because that was the voice that was like, oh, that was the one who used to wield me before you did. It's nice seeing him here. And then I think in season 2, the end of part 2, or the end of part 1, she even says if you want, I could help those two boys fall in love with you for real. And of course, she's imagining oh God, if she. Because Henri didn't do that knowingly. The blade acted on its own when it poked the Russian guy. And she's like, I really hope she doesn't end up doing that with Masaomi or Mikado. And then you end up hearing this really terrifying voiceover where it's Bryce Papenbrook and the voice actor for Mikado basically saying I love you in the weird Psycho voice. But yeah, so he ends up becoming a servant of Psycho and ends up saying, Mother wants me to protect you, so I will help you fight these people off while you make a run for it. And then, of course, Rui being so thankful to Celty for showing her that monsters can live normal lives is just yeah, I'll help you too. And the one thing I love is Celty's fear of the cops, because she ends up telling him all right, just go and then escape and be careful for these guys. Be careful for the police, they're scary. Really scary.
Yeah, don't check with the cops. He just repeats what the guy told her.
Yeah. And then it's and most importantly, stay away from a guy. If you see a guy in a bartender uniform, stay away from him. And they're both thinking about their first encounter with Shizuna, too late for that. we already know how dangerous that guy is. But that's one of the weird things going on here is now the city is becoming increasingly more paranormal.
Paranormal and active again.
Yeah. And now we have the introduction of two people a part of the Russian mob, Verona and Sloane. Who, I don't know what Sloane translated to, but Verona was Crow.
I can't remember.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things is Verona, I forgot I forgot how fucked up Verona's backstory was, because her whole thing was she was the father of basically the leader, the daughter of the leader of the Russian mob, and she never had any form of love or attention from him, so she buried herself in books, and that was the only time she ever felt happy. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until one night a guy ends up breaking into the house, obviously a enemy of the father, trying to kill her to, dampen his power in a way.
Yeah.
And she ends up, in a really effective scene, is saying, I'm gonna die here. No, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't have to die. And then she ends up flooding a bathroom, kicking the guy in there, and then throwing I think it was a blow dryer?
I think so, yeah, to electrocute him.
Yeah, and electrocuted him to death. And from then on, she ended up kind of getting this knack for killing and thought it was fun. And at one point, she went to an enemy surrogate of the father who was creating a lot of issues for them. And on the night that the father and his group were gonna go in for like one final battle. They go in and they just see all of the guys in a net, dead, hanging in there with like the daughter saying, "I did it because, you know, it was fun," and the dad just like slapped her across the face. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yep.
One thing I forgot is you see Simone and the other guy from Russia Sushi there.
Yep, because that's what they used to do.
Yeah.
And remember, Erica and Walker called it.
Yeah.
Because when they visited, I think it was in season 1 when they visited, it's like, dude, you think he's the type that like one was like, well, can you imagine? Maybe they were part of like the Russian special forces, but then once they retired, like they wanted to be like, no, this is not the life I live anymore. So they opened a Russian sushi shop instead. Because like I think it was like Walker's like, yeah, because they do look like the kind of like the master trainer type. So like if you go there, like they go for the training arcs.
And they did. They trained Verona how to kill.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when Weebs talk, it's always best to listen. but yeah, they trained her how to kill, and throughout the rest of the season, one of the big things going on is on Shizuo's end. Him and Tom, the guy he works with, they end up running into this little Japanese girl who tries to kill Shizuo, and she is 11 if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, the daughter of the Awakuzu.
Yeah.
The Awakuzu leader's like I think she was like the next in line to lead.
Yeah. And she was, and the thing is though, is she's one of those sweet little kids who, you know, had a bunch of friends, but then they realized, oh, they weren't really my friends because the parents are telling them not to fuck with me because they don't want my family going after them. Because I think she stopped a bullying. Yeah, she stopped a girl from being bullied, and then all of them became friends, but she's like, oh no, I'm gonna get bullied next. But it never happened because they're like, look, if she told you to stop doing something, you do it because of who her dad is.
Yep.
And she ends up trying to kill Shizuo because fucking Izaya told her, oh yeah, this man's a hitman and he's gonna kill your dad. So here's a super modded out taser that will kill anyone if you aim at the right spot. But again, fucking Shizuo is more than human. so they end up having to deal with like this little girl who is now clinging onto Shizuru saying, I will not let you kill my dad, and they're just like, fuck, where do we take her?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Like, at that point, Shizuru acquires a lolly at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, where do we take her? And it's like, well, I can't take her to my house. It's like, what about your brothers? Oh, please, there's paparazzi outside this house 24/7. Do you really think we could sneak her in? And it's all like, well, do you have any other friends? And it's like, yeah, you know, fuck it, there's this guy who will never leave me alone. So he takes her to Shino's apartment. And she ended up getting sick somehow because she was like a runaway child. Mm-hmm. It was believed that she was like alone longer before she ended up coming into the main storyline.
Yeah, because before then, I think she was like with that one big ass guy that they showed in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. The one with the, I forget his name, but
the one with the scar on his face.
Yeah. The one with the eye patch glasses.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, those people are basically when one side of your glasses is black and the other side is just regular plexiglass.
There's like a Kingsman, the Order, what was it?
The Kingsman, the Golden Circle.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that. It's funny. That's the movie that I'm like, story-wise, but like, I watch you for the action sequences. But, so exactly that. And she ended up finding out that, oh no, this guy's gonna kill my dad, so I need to kill him before he can do that. But the thing I like is she's telling him who set him up, who told her that he's a hitman, and then the whole time he's just like, he crushes a cup, and he's just like, can you tell me who this person who took you is? It's like, oh, it's this guy. Oh, don't worry, sweetie, I'm not gonna hurt your dad. Now I'm gonna go and talk to the guy. And obviously he's gonna go out and kill Izaya. Yeah. But Izaya, or someone else, was it? No, yeah, Izaya set him up by basically in his old apartment where he knew where he used to live. That's where all the dead Yarakuzu were at that Hollywood had killed early on in the series.
Yeah.
And someone walked in and automatically thought, oh shit, Shizuru killed all those men, so now we have to kill him.
Oh yeah. So pretty much, yeah, it was pretty much just like putting him on the spotlight. So like now, like now he has like not only not kids going after Isaiah, because like as we saw how like season 1 ended when like when that one guy like shot him.
Yeah.
But now they have like the full on mafia like going after Cecil as well.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's funny is like how even in the first season this show likes to balance so many different genres. Like at one point you have a horror story going on, and then you have like a comedy going on, you have a romance going on a little bit, and then of course you have like gang wars going on, and now in season 2 they turned it into a man on the run story where Shizuo is trying to clear his name, but at the same time trying to outrun the Yarakusu.
Yep.
And what ends up happening on there is I think they end up kind of just clearing his name because I guess they got the little girl back, and they realized you know what, we were told by Shinra that you're not a bad guy, and then you know we heard what you did for the little girl, so you know you're clean, just please don't actually try to fuck with us in the future.
Yeah.
Because again, I bet they were freaking out too when they thought he killed him, because everyone knows the story of Shizuru Heijima, so they obviously know we can't go at war with him without a couple of us dying in the process.
Yeah, and like the scary part about it as well, like for them, like it wasn't too far out there. Like Shizuru could have been the one like that was like Hollywood because of his monstrous strength, just because of the nature of the murders. But the thing with Shizuo is like at this point he's already learned how to control his rage, because even in the first season when he got into fights, he didn't necessarily like maim people, but rather he just like pretty much just brutally like punish them.
Yeah, like in earlier in the show, he ends up beating up 2 members from the enemy gang, and then the main leader, which I forgot how he got his face bruised up, because when the leader is initially shown, he's all bandaged up.
Yeah.
And then they end up explaining how, like, basically the night he went to the city, he tried to teach Shizuru a lesson, and then he got his ass kicked in the process. And so they know, like, no one fucks with this guy, and you're right, he doesn't main people, because that was one thing I didn't realize how they were able to clear his name is.
Yeah.
Shizuru would never leave a room like that. When those guys would get beaten up, they'd get punched and thrown on the floor, but you have a guy who was thrown into furniture, you have like another guy who was beaten, who was torn apart badly, and then you have another guy who was just implanted on the wall.
Yep.
And all I can think about was that scene of One Punch Man where it's like, oh no, you turned Genos into a piece of modern art.
When he got punched by Carnage Beetle.
Carnage Kabuto.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's implanted in the art, and he's like, you turned Genos into a work of modern art. But yeah, every time I see that, that's all I think of now. Thank you, One Punch Man, for ruining moments that are supposed to be tense. But so obviously that's how they end up clearing out his name. But is there anything else you want to bring up before I bring up my thing?
No, I think that's pretty much like one of the things I really wanted to talk about. Is just like where pretty much Durarara is shifting. Where I can guess it's gonna go in season 2. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you want, you can go for it now. Okay,
so basically, what ends up happening on the Mikado end is Aoba, he ends up leading him into this warehouse where he ends up telling him like, yeah, you know, we're all a part of the dollars, but we're also ex-members of the Blue Squares. And basically,
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm just remembering that scene.
Yeah, and basically we're the ones who went to Saitama and torched, and I mean like torched a parking lot full of a bunch of the rival gang members, but they also killed and hurt a few innocent people in the process, because from what they made it sound like is they just carpet bombed an entire parking lot, where they threw one Molotov and it just caused this mass explosion that basically killed a bunch of gang members, but at the same time it killed innocent people. Yeah. And that's what pissed off the leader was, look, my men getting beaten up is nothing big to me. You know, I'll come and I'll deal with it personally. But when you start hurting people in my area, that's when the full force of my gang are coming after you. And have you ever seen this 70s movie called The Warriors? Or heard of the video game?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny because that's all I can think about when the leader is basically talking to his men, and you just see them on this bridge system, and you just see like countless of gang members on the bridge like cheering him on. That's all I could think about was that scene in The Warriors where he's just going in and he's telling him like, the dollars decided to mess with us, so we're here to get some asses and even the playing field. And, as the show goes on, you realize this guy isn't evil. He's just, dude, you fuck with me, I have a code. And he even tells his men, look, I'm going to tell you guys one thing before we get started, is I do not care if they're a dollar, I don't care if they try to attack you, but if you ever lay a hand on a lady, I will beat you to death myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, he was like a giant ladies man, and had a girlfriend, but, was kind of shameless about it, but the girl still stuck around with him too.
And he was a really good fighter too. That's the thing.
Yeah, because one of the big things they point out is he was able to take a beating not only was he able to take a beating from Shizura and not have it be as bad as it usually is, but he was also able to get a punch on him too, and the punch was more effective than it usually is. Yeah. And from that point on, like, Kadota doesn't like that his men are going in and beating up on Dollars members, because about 80%, maybe even like 95% of the Dollars are just regular people. Yeah. And only that small 5% are maybe thugs.
Or like hardcore.
Yeah, are like hardcore thugs who know how to fight. So he goes in and tells them, like, look, I want you guys to step down. And he's like, I'm not going to step down until we find the people who torched my men. And they end up getting into a fight. And yeah, it's a really good fight. I even like how he's just like... How he's just like, look, I'm a really good fighter, so I'm gonna give you this, which he hands him like a type of knife. I forgot what they called it, but he hands him like a type of knife, and he's like, no, that's not necessary. I'll fight you too. I'll fight you evenly too. And they end up beating each other up to the point where it was a stalemate. The only reason that Kadota was considered the winner is because the other guy was laying on the floor. He was still conscious, but he was laying on the floor. Yeah. And
both of them were pretty bruised up, though.
Yeah, and that's the thing that made me laugh is near the end of the arc, this mass text in the dollar forums end up going live, and it says, this girl is the girlfriend of the leader of the Sobrikai, or whatever these guys are called. And, let's, if I don't have the heart to do it, but if anyone doesn't mind kidnapping, then, by all means do it. And the really fucked up thing that ends up happening is the group of people who end up kidnapping her are the human traffickers from season 1. And the thug from season 1 too, the one that Karada, there you go. Yeah, the one Izaya ends up balding. Yeah. And they end up like, Mikado goes and tries to stop him, but they end up like beating the fuck out of him, and Mikado is having like an Eren Yeager moment from Attack on Titan. Is like, these fucking sons of a bitches are coming into the dollars and I'm getting beaten up by these assholes. And like, that ends up initially putting a new thought in his head that we'll get to in a bit. But we now have these thuggish group of the dollars coming in and saying like, you guys better leave our territory or else we're gonna fucking kill your girlfriend. Again, I'm realizing how dark this show is getting the more I'm talking about it.
Because like, again, especially like one of the things, like they're dealing, like one of the things that Durarara wants to play is like there's a supernatural aspect, but then it deals with the real dangerous aspect of the city as well, which is like the gang life, the crime and everything. Yeah. Which, like, again, what Masaomi pretty much told Mikado in the first episode when he showed up there is like, Ikebukuro is a pretty big place, but remember, this is a place where like gangs, anything like any shady business can happen. Because like it just comes with the city. Yeah,
and they even did just flat out point out that after we're done doing what we have to do with the boss, we are in fact going to do horrible things to these girls. Because one of them's like, why do I have to stay here and you guys went off with the chicks? And it's like, I'll keep one for you. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is getting so fucking dark. But the funny thing is to balance, it's always good to have things get dark, but always know there needs to be a sense of balance to it. So what we end up getting is Kadota and the leader end up teaming up and just beating him up, and the guy pulls out his knife, and it's all like, oh wow, that's a classic weapon. And it's like, yeah, I got it from this little shop. And he's like, oh, this one is like, yeah, small world. And they're like, what the fuck, you guys are friends now?
Dude, and I was like, I love that pairing.
Yeah, it was such a great little moment. Again, this show is just full of amazing little character moments. Mm-hmm. But I like because other people come in, you have like the lesser group of the dollars coming in and like escorting the girls out of the fighting zone, which include the French girl with the missing things poster and the bunny.
Oh yeah,
the guy in the rabbit costume coming in and like escorting them out, while you have like, of course, Walker doing his thing and other people coming in and fighting. Henri ends up getting into a fight with Verona because someone had hired them to kidnap Henri and of course the little girl. So they end up chasing after Henri, and Henri ends up getting into a fight with Verona, who now by this point Henri is just a badass katana wielder. and basically the fight ends up just slowing down because Shizura shows up and and is like, whose bike is this? And it's like, well, it's not mine. And it's like, oh. I thought, and Verona ends up lifting up her hand because it was her motorbike, and it's just like, oh, I thought it was a part of the douchebags who kidnapped those girls, so I was gonna like fling it at him, but here, I meant no ill will of doing that.
Oh yeah.
And he ends up giving it back the motorcycle, but then she ends up shooting him because it was like a tactical knife. So it's those knives they're spring loaded.
Yeah.
So she pressed a button and like a knife ends up going into his chest, and he ends up chasing after her when he realizes, oh shit, she has the Yawakuzu's daughter. But yeah, anyway, from that on, that's about it for part one.
Part one of season 2.
Yeah, part one of season 2 is now done.
And pretty much like that's about as much as I'm familiar with, because from here on forward, it's going to be a new experience for me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear your opinion on these next 2 weeks. But yeah, one thing to point out too is Sloane is now dead because they ended up getting lured into a trap. So Sloane is dead, and Verona, because of a deal she had with like the guy's boss. They're like, look, we told your dad we wouldn't kill you, but you're exiled now. So now she's forced to live in Japan, and it's believed that she's going to be looked after by Simon and the other person. Yeah. So okay, do you know about that pairing though? Because it sounded like you knew about what's going to end up happening with the character next, because I mentioned it last week.
Which one?
Verona.
Yeah.
Like there's a specific pairing that people like her with. Do you know about that?
I'm drawing a blank now.
Okay, so because I brought it up last week that there was a specific character who ends up meeting a female counterpart. So you don't know who that is. Verona ends up getting attracted to one of the people in Durarara. And you don't know who that is.
I forgot it. I remember, I'm trying to remember right now because I remember I called it last week.
Yeah.
But I can't remember who it was now.
Well, I'll leave it for you there, but it was hinted at because there are 2 characters saying, like, don't worry, we'll eventually find a girl for you. Like, it's hinted in this season.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, if you might actually have figured it out by this point. But, we'll keep it open for the people listening. Viewers. But yeah, tune in for part 2 because shit's about to get even crazier.
Yep.
This show has not... again, this was part 1 of, the rest of the manga. It's going to get progressively crazier from this point on. And there's a lot of characters we haven't pointed out. But, we'll go into them. Mm-hmm. Anyway, let us...
Oh, I now remember Dude, I'm having amnesia right now. I just remembered Ruri's suit of armor that you were talking about now.
Oh, you barely remember?
Yeah, now I remembered it.
Okay, so I'm just trying to find. I'm gonna get some music up in here. So ending. Oh, maybe I shouldn't go for that because ending 3 is kind of a banger. Okay, fuck it, let's just do it. Wait, is that it? Yeah. So, so Lewis, let's start off with you. God damn it. See, I told you this was a bad idea.
Oh, my head. This is actually how I give myself stiff shoulders last week.
I don't know how people do that. Like, headbanging, I'm like, dude, you do that, and I feel like I'm gonna rip my head off.
Dude, I did that last week, and like my shoulders were stiff when I went to work. I was like, oh, that was a bad idea. But yeah, so thoughts for me about Durarara season 2. Again, when I first found out that it got a season 2, I was hyped.
Yeah.
Hyped to the max. Watched the first season sub, and afterwards I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait for the dub, because for me this show, oh my god. Well, part of it was Steve's love.
Yeah.
But like for me, like I just like what made me fall in love with the show was originally when I heard like the dub characters, the way they interacted with each other, like seeing it in Adult Swim. And one of the things when I watch anime is for me, I like it when I'm go for whichever one, dub or sub. But I get used to whatever I hear at first.
Yeah.
That's like for me, D Gray, man, I cannot watch it subbed anymore because I'm so used to how they're dubbed and everything. And then same thing with Durarara. The way it was dubbed and everything as well. The fact that they kept the original cast members from the first season and everything, added some new voice talent as well. Oh, this is pretty much one of those things that I enjoyed. Just seeing like they kept it true to the original anime, the first one. And more importantly, it's showing how like it's gonna get more crazier again with the city life as well. Just showing like a dynamic and everything, drawing the parallels to like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which again, based on what I said earlier, I have a point with it, but some of the stuff I might be pulling out of my ass because this is something that I remember talking about in high school, but never went back to again.
Yeah.
And then just seeing like all these new introduced characters and everything, like I'm really enjoying this a lot.
Yeah.
And like I'm really glad that I'm getting to revisit the season 2 again, continuing back from like where we left off on season 1.
Yeah.
And I guess if anything, like I'm really looking forward to like catching up with the second and third part of this season.
Yeah.
So really hyped for it right now. And that's pretty much my final thoughts for it.
Oh, okay.
So far.
So yeah, one thing to actually point out is like Durarara was supposed to be way back in fucking beta animazing. Like this was supposed to be one of the first things we did, but it was one of those. Well, the commitment's a little too big, and the second season is still going on by this point, so we'll wait. Mm-hmm. But by the time the second season had ended, that's when the whole political kerfuffle started, and me and the guy are still cool, but it's like, damn. This had a let me hear syndrome going on where the song just loses its fucking mind at one point. Seriously, guys. Listen to the full version of "Let Me Hear," the Parasite opening, where that song ends up just losing its fucking mind at one point.
Yep. And now we're back at the usual. Now back to our regularly scheduled tone.
Yeah. One of the other things because we've been doing this since 2017 with you guys.
Yeah.
And the reason we haven't done it is because like Foxy has wanted to do it with us because he absolutely loves this anime. But you know, with how busy he was and how I haven't heard from him until earlier this week, I'm just like, fuck it, man. I want to do this. I'm not gonna hold it off anymore for anything. So. I'm really glad that we're doing this now, and I have to say this is one of those animes that it's definitely up there in my top 5. I just don't know where, because after Hunter x Hunter, it has officially thrown, like my top 5 was all nice and neatly stacked, but now Hunter x Hunter went in there, and I'm like, fuck, is it number 1? Is it number 2? Shit, because like, now that a new anime has fucking entered, one of them are getting punched out. And Durarara was initially 5, but then I'm realizing, you know what, it might be a little higher than that. So right now, Durarara is currently standing at 3, but that means Parasite got pushed out of the top 5 altogether.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because initially where it's standing right now, it's Attack on Titan, and Hunter x Hunter are flipping between 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah?
And then you have Durarara, and then you have Kill la Kill as number 4, and then you have Madoka as 5. And the only reason I pushed Parasite off so hard is because I've seen shows with the same formula do it better than that. Well, at least gave me like a much stronger emotional hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I got pushed off. It's still no hate towards Parasite. I mean, I own the crappy live action movies and I like them a lot. But yeah, it's just, you know. Anyway, long story short, this is in my top 5. I fucking love this show, and watching, you know, talking to you with it, I really forgot like how a good basis of what makes the show great is all of these amazing little character interactions. And now that we have a season two, it is now opening more room for characters who weren't even aware of each other's presence finally interacting with each other.
Like they're not just extra fluff. Like they're actually there to contribute more to the story.
Yeah, and if anyone was, because I have a friend that when she first initially started watching it, she was really disappointed that that Seiji and his girlfriend weren't in the season. Just wait. They have an episode and it's fucking crazy. But anyway, you have all these really great little character moments coming up. You have these great character moments that happened. As you know, we pointed out, it's flopping between a bunch of genres, and this season we had a really cool man on a mission thing.
Yeah. And
you know, Washizo is becoming like a wanted man. And one of the funny jokes I forgot to mention is when Shizuru like ends up not wanting to destroy a bike or fling a car at them, and he explains why he doesn't like doing that, and they're like, wait, so I forgot what it was, but he says, I don't want to destroy it out of respect for the people who've made them. And it's like, really? So what's your excuse with all the stop signs you've yanked out of the floor and like flung at people?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because remember, this is a guy who would like pick up a stop sign, cut someone off in the middle of the road by placing the stop sign down there. But anyway, I'm losing track. A lot of great character moments here. You do see a lot less of Mikado and Anri going on here.
Yeah. Because mainly it's mainly focusing on the other characters more and trying to build up to what I'm believing is like what the seasons 2 and 3 are probably gonna talk about.
Yeah. Because one of the things we have too is Masaomi was maybe only in like 3 episodes with his girlfriend, and there we go, it's losing its shit again. And the series, this initial arc ends with him basically going like, alright, I'm gonna go and help my friends because my girlfriend's fucking awesome, and gives awesome pep talks. And it ends up stopping that's where he's at now. And of course Mikado took up Aoba's deal. I'm not initially going to say what that deal was, but it was a really hardcore deal, and I love his contract. Remember the contract?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, it's a lot of the same. It's a lot of the same with a whole bunch of really cool new stuff brought in to really reward the people who have been waiting 5 years for the show to come out. And I'm, for the people who are giant fans of the dub, God bless you, Aniplex, for doing a somewhat faster dub. Like, we didn't have to wait a whole year for this dub to come out. It was coming out like a few months after the show had started. But yeah, there's not a whole lot I can say that I haven't already said or will be saying in the future. So yeah, just fucking check this show out. It's amazing.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, that was our episode of Busted Musket Productions and Amazing on Durarara Season 2 Part 1. Please join us again for Season 2 Part 2, which will hopefully be happening next week. We can never be sure because this week almost didn't happen.
Yep. Yeah. Almost did because of just like all the things that happened last minute.
Yeah. Things got shifted around the last 2 days, and I was almost going to shift this day around, but then I realized I don't want to go. I kind of don't want to do the thing that they're going to do, so, they let me, and of course I made it up with them last week. But anyway, yeah, next week it should be easily fine, but you never know.
Yep. And then if anything, keep up for us as well, because it is confirmed, we will be making our appearance at Crunchyroll Expo.
Yeah! For like those 6 people on our YouTube.
For those 6 people on our YouTube, but hey, we'll be your eyes and ears when we will be your eyes and ears when we go over to San Jose and everything.
Yeah.
And gonna be debuting some special stuff, so keep up with us as well.
Yes.
Because I still have to make the Instagram, and I gotta be posting progress, because now that my last finals is this week, I'll finally be able to get started on those costume props.
Awesome.
I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. Did we mention who we were gonna be doing?
No.
Okay, I'll keep it in short.
We've never mentioned it to them yet. But yeah, just know that the ideas are really cool, and they're both from really hype anime.
Pretty hype anime, and I'll post it in the Instagram, but this is my resume.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure I can build it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I can pull it off. I have 3 months compared to like the week I had to pull that shit off.
Yeah, for you audio listener people, well, all audio listener, he pulled out a Kagune he had made from Tokyo Ghoul, Kaneki's Kagune.
In 1 week.
It's so badass. In 1 week. So anyway, that was our show. And again, do stay tuned with us from Anime Expo. I'm gonna try to get back in the groove of getting people to interview again, because that was really fun, and I kind of want to, do it with Rui now, but Louis Rui. I want to kind of get back in the groove of doing interviews again, because those are really fun, and we haven't done them in over a year. So I think this thing can run Skype okay. If not, we could probably do it off another computer. But I'm gonna just see if we can try to get. I really want Kira back. Like I need that. That's one of my big things. Is I want to get Kira Buckland back to do a JoJo episode. Because we couldn't get her to stop talking about it the first time, so I'm like, fuck it. We'll bring it on for when we probably have you watch JoJo, or at least finish up JoJo.
I want to meet Steve Blum one day. That's my bucket list thing.
That would probably be really tough to get. We were in the process of trying to get Patrick Seitz, Gamagori's voice actor.
Yep.
I don't know what happened there, but we never did it. But I need to talk to Daniel, and maybe we can see, because we know someone who knows him, and we could probably try to see if we can at least get a Skype interview with him. But yeah, I want to do that more. And one of the big things I would like to do is maybe have a different guest every so often to talk about a specific anime, and not just plain interviews. It would just be like, hey, we have this person to talk about this anime that they like. Because
if we do get Steve Blum, I want to do a blast in the past and be like, so, Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, we still haven't done that. We'll do what we were initially going to do with the Kizo movies, is we'll keep Cowboy Bebop on the back burner until we can get someone. And if it seems hopeless, we won't, we'll just do it without him. But that's only if it seems hopeless. The reason we did Kizo is because initially my thoughts on a specific YouTuber has kind of changed. I still like them, but I'm like, I don't know if I want them on a show, or if we can even get him, because he's so high profile now, that we just ended up doing it without that YouTuber. Another one we need to focus on getting, though, is Noble. We still haven't tried him, and he's one of the few LA living people.
Yep.
And
if anything, he shows up to Anime Los Angeles a lot. Mm-hmm. So the Anime Film Festival.
Yeah. Did that happen already?
Last year.
Oh, okay.
But it's something that happens in August or September.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's September. Rui is another one that I want to try to get. But again, it's
what? I'm right here.
Okay, Rui Ryu Panda.
There you go.
I want to get her. I want to try to have them on it. I'm gonna try to see. Maybe I'll start by trying to get high-profile YouTubers. Maybe not too high profile, because getting Joey might be
to show up.